We had this 9-ball light. 9-ball. Can you tell I played a lot of billiards in my day? And they tilt. And they drain. Let's tilt this guy off and see what happens. Ooh, that is not something I have heard before. So I'm guessing that it works now, so let's find out. Haha, lovely. Ooh, look at that. It's 420. I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Okay, I think it's been like a couple weeks since I've worked on Mars God of War. And there's still a few little tweaks that need to be done to call this 100%. So finally back in the basement and going to tackle these things. Actually, I think about a week ago, I think just before I had Ray and Julie over to do some playtesting on this game, which I recorded, I did actually do a few tweaks, and my to-do list was getting updated. So let's see what we got. We had this 9-ball light. 9-ball. Can you tell I played a lot of billiards in my day? Number 9 light. I replaced the socket. Boom. That is now working. Bottom left pop bumper adjust. That was a simple little adjusting of the leaf switch there, and it is very active like all of its three brothers now. Paint the head trim. That may or may not happen. I mean, it would be nice, but no promises on that one. I mean, that is kind of front and center. Hey, what is going on with one of my displays? Okay, look at that. I must add that P1 display. Okay, but yeah, so this head trim with hair and all, maybe that's my cat, could use, you know, I could pop off this Laniel automatic plaque, stick it on my wall somewhere. I've done a lot of stick it on my wall stuff lately, actually. Let's go for a quick tour and see if I can remember what I have done. Let's see. I did this Arkanoid marquee. I did this, some aftermarket Point Blank 2 marquee, and some Captain's Auction Warehouse. That's new. Man, there's no way I'm gonna be able to go through it all because I've added a bunch of crap and it's hard to keep track. But I know there's stuff. Another Captain's Auction Warehouse. That's new. One of the more cooler things, significant things, is my Electra upper playfield is now in the upper portion of my games room, aka ceiling. And I know there's more. Oh yeah, this was the other one. This really cool 25-cent glass. I think it might have been, I don't know, slot machine marquee. It would be pretty cool to have illuminated it from behind, but it just wasn't in the cards. And I think that was the most significant thing. Oh, I guess I did add Flintstones Translate to my fridge. And I had a Stern poster on there, so that was another thing. I added a couple more things to the ceiling here. There it is. And I added that. So we got Spider-Man, we got Stern, we got Theater of Magic from Wally 16, and we got Signed Circus Voltaire from Chris McKinley, some fellow shenaniganders. Oh, Thought someone was talking to me, but it was just Mars God of War. Anyway, I've done some decorating in the interim. There we go. Calgary Pinball. That was given to me by Johnny Cotman at Indisc, so I actually think I have another one of those somewhere. But anyway, I love populating the basement with random miscellaneous stuffs. There's the shadow. I'm looking for him because I've got to add this to him somehow. Kind of have it out a little bit so it's like 3D. Yeah, something like that. There we go. I knew he was somewhere, but I took a couple looks and couldn't find him. I've got the two goalkeepers before and after. We got fat goalkeeper or / wide and skinny goalkeeper. One of these days I should get Mike Hamley to sign these because that's who those are modeled after. Anyway, got sidetracked there. Let's get back to the action. Okay, what else did I do? Flipper buzz. So bottom right flipper was buzzing, and I think it was just a worn coil stop. So I changed the coil stop, changed the coil sleeve. I think that resolved that. I'd like to do the same treatment for the other flippers. And glass and lock bar. Oh yeah, well, I installed those. I cleaned them. They were both very crusty and they came out pretty nice, except for the glass is a little scratchy. 4X light. I think that is not checked off the list. Yeah, that's from after our play testing. And then here's the big one. Tilt ends game for all players. So what is happening? This is going to be the most challenging issue compared to painting a head and changing a light bulb. So, you know, player one is playing, and they get a little aggressive, and they tilt, and they drain, and game over. The tilt is actually registering as a slam tilt and will kill the entire game no matter how many players. So that is probably some wiring issue. But when I first got the game, remember this was disconnected, and I'm pretty sure it was disconnected, and I added it back on there, didn't I? Wasn't that this? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was this game. And that's probably why they disconnected it, because it was misbehaving. But why was it misbehaving? Did someone wire it incorrectly in the first place, or is it a factory thing that factories screw up? So I had to figure that out. And then player 4 display, I can't remember what the issue was with that. Maybe I already replaced it because it looks to be perfectly fine right now. And player 1 display, probably reseating the wires in the connector should resolve that. So I'll futz around with this for a little bit and then I will report back. Alright, so I am following this blue-white wire, which goes into the roll tilt, and then it comes out, goes into this harness, comes around to the slam tilt, and look what I find. Someone has closed that slam tilt switch, which is actually not really a bad thing because this is a normally closed switch. That would actually prevent slam tilts. So, and this is not even blue-white, but definitely think I'm on the right trail here as to what is going on. So that is what I need to check out a little closer and see. WTF is really happening. Okay, I soldered the slam tilt switch back up and then ran a test, and that didn't change anything. So got to thinking, I wonder if it is possibly a setting. So I pulled up the manual here, and it says the tilt penalty, switch 29, if it is on, it is the ball in play. If it is off, It is game over. Actually, when I pulled up the manual, information about the slam tilt was like right on the page. I don't know where that was though, but it basically said slam tilt will end game. Tilt is dependent upon what setting it is. Let's see if I can find that quick without making you too dizzy. Here it is. So when I opened up the manual, it was basically here. If the normally closed slam tilt switch is open, the entire game is ended for all players. The game over lamp comes on. Entire switch matrix is inactive for 3 seconds, yada da da, and that's exactly the behavior I was getting. So then I checked out this. Tilting the game in tilt mode results in a penalty depending on the setting of switch 29. Oh, there's Adam Hewer texting me, and I already know he has a Elvira House of Horrors that he's trying to wheel and deal with, because he's already messaged Kevin earlier today, so it'll be interesting to see what he says. I would like a Elvira House of Horrors. That would be pretty friggin' awesome, actually, so I'll have to check that out in a second. So yeah, switch 29, that was page 8. There we go. So it could just be a setting, so let's go find switch 29. Okay, here we go. I checked, and switch 28 is on, so switch 29 should be matching that. So 8, 16, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 is not matching. Yeah, 28 and 29 should be matching, but looks like 7 and 8 are off. Wonder what they do. I'm not too concerned about that right yet, but let me set this up and see if that's all it was. Okay, I've got it set up for a 4-player game. Plunge a ball, get a few points, and let's tilt this guy off and see what happens. Ooh, that is not something I have heard before. Okay, let's drain the ball. I think that's all it was. Friggin' setting. One little click of a button, and boom, we're on player 2. Sweet! That is awesome. You know what that means. Tilt ends all players' games. Bye-bye. Oh, and also, number 4 lamp now works. Trust me, I fixed that. That's going off the list. And now I will go see if I'm going to buy a Elvira House of Horrors. Okay, so haven't purchased an Elvira House of Horrors in the interim, but I did reply to Adam and just waiting to see what he says. Asked him to send me a link of the listing. I know it's posted somewhere and I could probably find it, but I'm lazy. And working on Mars God of War. So, bottom left flipper, coil stop. Have a look at that. Pretty worn out. And I don't know that I have a new set, but look at this used one. It is pretty great shape. And then a new coil sleeve, and then the bottom 2 flippers will be good. There's really no issue with them. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. It's good to do, you know. Hopefully it doesn't result in more power to the flippers, which could potentially result in smashing the living daylights out of the center drop targets, but oh well, it is pinball. And I've got a few spares ready to go for when I do smash them. Okay, this flipper is done, so I used my Dremel to like just grind down a little bit of the end of the plunger to make sure it was nice and smooth. And then I realized it was missing the 2 spring washers. these guys. There's supposed to be 2 of those on the shaft there. So I added those and got the new sleeve and coil stop installed, cleaned the end of stroke switch, and that should be good. And that was the upper flipper. So in my head I was thinking, let's do the lower flipper, but oops, the top flipper when the playfield is up is actually the bottom flipper. So this guy's next. Okay, this bottom left flipper, that coil stop's pretty worn. Plunger could use a bit of a filing or dremeling. This spring is stretched to all hell, and look how it's secured here. It's like double looped on there, so this spring definitely needs to be changed. And again, it doesn't have the spring washers, so I'll button all that up. This looks like a new coil for whatever reason. Yeah, so I'll tidy all that up. All right, I got the coil sleeve, coil stop, plunger, and spring all happy, and then I was just kind of bending the end of stroke switch to make sure the tabs weren't too close, and I popped the tab right off. So probably good that I did that, because it would have failed at some point. So I'm going to see if I can dig out a couple new end of stroke switches. Actually, at least that one, because screws are very accessible. And this one is a double switch. So yeah, if I'm going to do one end of stroke switch on the bottom flippers, might as well do both, but not probably going to do that for the uppers. Anyway, all this work I'm doing is just equating to potential broken drop targets. Okay, I managed to find one new end of stroke switch. So that is installed, and everything here should be hunky-dory. You can see the difference once you this was also missing the washer. I don't remember if I mentioned that. This is missing the washer. Well, I put 2 in there and 1 in there that was from a Bally that's a little stiffer, so I didn't think it needed 2. This one has 2, and this one I imagine is also missing them. And yeah, this guy's next. How is this end of stroke switch looking? Let's see. Cleaned it already. It's a little pitted, but it is working just fine. So what I'm expecting is after refurbing all the flippers that I'm going to have some awesome flipper issues when I'm done. That's kind of how it works, so we'll see. I'll do this guy next. All right, last flipper has been refurbished. End of stroke switch cleaned. The other switch cleaned. New sleeve. I trimmed the loops on the ends of the springs because they were crappy. Now they got brand new loops. I put in a new used coil stop and dremeled that all nice. And I got the spring in there. Spring washer, and look at that. Nice and snug now. So last thing to do is test these 4 flippers out. And just for fun, you can see the mess I made just by refurbing a few flippers. I got crap everywhere. That was all emptied out under the ground, but I tidied that up. Alright, I played a couple games, and Mars is yet again winning the battle. I've discovered that my lane change feature is now intermittent. So that's probably just a switch adjustment. And my ramp now doesn't seem to ever want to go up. So I don't know what happened. Maybe that's a transistor, a fuse, or a wire, but I got some work to do. Okay, so for the lane change issue, I figure out what happened by putting in a newer coil stop that is not beat to all hell. It's actually a little bit longer of a stop. that means the plunger can't travel in as far, which means it doesn't close the lane change switch up top, and the end of stroke switch barely opens. So I need to check all those switches and make sure they're all properly adjusted. Okay, so the ramp not working was a blown F18 fuse. Not exactly sure why it blew. It is an older looking fuse, so maybe it was just its time. Then I went over all the switches very closely and made sure that they were all opening and closing as they should, which they all are now. So I studied them very closely. I did find that this wasn't even closed, which is not good. I don't know if that has anything to do with the ramp issue, going up and down and not working and blowing a fuse. Also, number 4 lamp was being flaky again, so I replaced it with a different socket. That is not my solder job, by the way. That upper strand of wires there that's stapled right there was not actually soldered. But upon closer examination, I could probably afford to put in that screw a little better. I got rid of the flathead and put in, you know, a 1/4-inch nut driver so I could get a good tightening on there. But it kind of looks like crap. So we're going to test all these things out now and see if everything's back to normal. All right, here goes. So far, the 4 looks like it's happy. And as soon as I start a game, the ramp should lift up and hopefully stay up and not blow. Hey, oh, okay, it's not going to score any points. Oh yeah, you know what else happened? The out hole, this, not the out hole solenoid, but this solenoid that kicks the ball into the shooter lane, I completely forgot. That stopped working too, so much fun. There we go. I'm hoping that maybe changing that fuse had something to do with that or something, but that's good now. The 4's good now. The ramp's good now. And let's roll over a letter and see if the lane change feature works better now. No. Okay. All right, well, it should be easily fixed, but I thought I had it perfect in my earlier testing, but apparently not, so 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Okay, well, I think I found the problem. It's not the switch. Bottom flipper stopped working. Yay, System 80. Okay, so the end of stroke switch was just because I had adjusted it. It wasn't closed as tight as it should have been. So I readjusted it, or should I say readjusted it and refiled it. So I'm guessing that it works now, so let's find out. Haha, lovely. Okay, that one was all me. I lifted the playfield up, I cleaned and adjusted the upper flipper, and this time round I actually did the lower flipper. So I have a feeling, where did my ball go? Oh, I just ran out of credits. Okay. I have a feeling that some of these issues that I'm having now, the ramp solenoid, this shooter lane solenoid, I think this might be related to just messing with the whole powertrain. Yeah, that makes sense, because if the bottom right flipper is not working and the power goes from here to here, if this is not working, then that won't be working. So that's why you really need good end of stroke switches and cleaned and properly adjusted for shit to actually work properly. Okay, so bottom right flipper, there we go. Now let's that's weird. Why is my ramp down? Did I just blow the fuse? Okay, well, at least let's try the letters, the rollovers. Okay. So one step forward, one step back. And now I gotta figure out if that Stargate ramp blew. Ooh, look at that. It's 420. Okay. I'm happy to say that I think all the issues are resolved. So let's play a game. Talk through what the hell just happened tonight. See if any other issues pop up. Okay. So basically the main problem is when you change coil stops out that are super worn, you put in fresh ones. They are longer, therefore the flipper shaft does not travel as far as it used to, and all of your end of stroke switch adjustments need to be realigned, and if not, weird things can happen. For example, if they're not squished together tight enough, the end of stroke switches, then you're just not going to get power. And that is the case on this, which probably led to the reason why my shooter lane kicker stopped working, and was obviously the reason why my lane change stopped working. And who knows, maybe it had something to do with the ramp not working. Oh, by the way, I checked the fuse on the up-down Stargate ramp and it was fine. I think I just confused it when the first letter that is hit is one of the lower letters rather than the top letter, so I think I just confused it. So, as it stands, all four flippers and end of stroke switches appear to be working. Because if the end of stroke switches were a little bit off, then I wouldn't be getting power to the flippers. But you know what I should probably do is, after a bunch of games, recheck just to be safe, because it's just muy importante. So flippers working, lane change working, drop targets, pop bumpers, Stargate ramp, spinner, switches, lanes, all solenoids, sounds, my Stargate tube lights, all my displays. You know, this project as it stands, minus painting the head frame, come on, minus being a little bit housey. Oh yeah, also fix the tilt ends everybody's game, no matter what play you are on problem, which is a very weird setting, Gottlieb. Why would you even have that? So, just a little setting on that one. Oh, are you serious? Okay. I'm putting machine house balls me on the to-do list. I'm going to drill a hole right in the middle of that flasher insert. Not flasher insert, but shoot again insert. Put a post right in there, fat rubber, and problem solved. Oh, hold on. Oh, I had to give Eli her meds. It's medication time, but there it is. That is everything working right now. I'm calling it done. So I'm gonna have to do maybe one more video just to go over everything, talk about what I did. I may or may not, we'll see. But kind of like a summary video, and then maybe a proper tutorial video. But for now, I'm calling this a finished project. So turned out pretty good all in all. It fought me hard and long, and Mars definitely was the winner of this battle. But I think I won the war. Oh yeah.